Alright, so this past week we took a trip to Virginia Beach and we decided to tow our golf cart with our 2010 Dodge Grand Caravan. 600 miles round trip there and back. Would it do it? Oh, I didn't know off the bat. So to set things up, we do have an expedition. My wife has an expedition. I used to have one. She has one now. And the day of the trip, I noticed that we had uneven wearing on the tires. The inside of the driver's side front was very slick. Something was going on with that. It actually ended up being a control arm issue. Any of you guys who've owned half-ton Fords for any length of time, you understand that the control arms go bad from time to time. The bushings actually went bad in this one, not the ball joint like normal. So with that being done, I could not get the tire off due to my very weak 230 foot-pound torque impact would not get the tire off. So I decided, you know what? I'm just going to take the van. We have it. It holds everybody. Let's just take the van. My wife said, hey, let's pull the golf cart with the van. And I thought, this is not a good idea. The van does have a trailer hitch on it. I put it on there to haul a mobility scooter. I did not put it on there to haul anything. No trailers, nothing like that. And I distinctly remember when I put the hitch on the van, I told my wife right then, I said, I'm not going to worry about wiring up any trailer lights because we'll never use it to pull a trailer. So I didn't worry about that. If you're here in North Carolina or really any other state, Virginia is also included in this, that requires your trailers to have lights on them. You understand you need that little 4-prong pigtail, depending on the size of your trailer, to plug the lights up. Well, I did not wire that up because I did not think I would ever use the van to pull a trailer. So, guess who drove 300 plus miles one way without lights on a trailer? This guy right here. With that being said, we loaded up the golf cart, put the trailer on the back of the van. I had to rig up the hitch. I actually turned it from a drop hitch where it drops down to a rise hitch. I just turned the ball over and put the hitch, I think it's a 2-inch rise instead of a 2-inch drop. And it leveled the trailer out fairly well. It did squat the van quite a bit, but it did level the trailer out fairly well. So we were able to go, at least leave the house. And if you've ever traveled anywhere, there can be hills in certain places. The van is a stock 3.8. It's not the 3.6. Thankfully, it's not the 3.3, although I don't really think it would have done too bad being a 3.3. It is the 3.8. These vans have about 180 horsepower. It's quite limited due to the fact that it is a 7-person, it carries 7 people. Also, at the time we had 6 people in the van, loaded down with luggage for 6 people, as well as the trailer and the golf cart on the back of the trailer. When we got up to the hills, for whatever reason, Raleigh seems to have a lot of hills. I guess that's where the hills really start in North Carolina. And Raleigh seems to be like the hilliest area on our trip. Although, we're much further west than Raleigh. That seemed to be where the hills are, at least on 85. When we hit them, the van had a really hard time keeping up speed as the speed limit was about 70 miles an hour. And we were struggling. I put it in the slow lane. Let everybody by, gave plenty of room. I had no trouble at all stopping, however. That was another worry of mine, was stopping the van if I needed to. Sway was not an issue as well, as the trailer pulled straight and true all the way down. The one issue I did have, which was self-inflicted, is I left the windshield in the golf cart. If you know anything about pulling golf carts or anything like that, they have just a flat windshield. There's nothing to it. And somewhere along the lines of Virginia-North Carolina border, the windshield did one of these numbers. It was straight up and down, and then it went like that. And I was like, oh, I think I just broke the mounts to the windshield and got out. And sure enough, it was actually hanging on by the pressure of it pushing back on the, I'm going to call it a roll bar on the golf cart. That's what was keeping the windshield up. It actually just slid down as soon as I stopped. Strapped it down, fixed that problem. We were back to normal. pulled it all the way to Virginia Beach, Virginia, and I will say on bridges, that trailer would beat you to death in the van. Now, the Expedition would have been fine. It had enough weight. It was kind of built for that. It's a body-on-frame vehicle. The van is not. But over bridges, that trailer would beat you to death. Now, I'm going to guess that the combined weight of the trailer, everything we had on it, including the golf cart, was probably about 2,000 pounds. Had at least one bicycle on it. We also had other luggage inside the seats of the golf cart, as you can lift ours up and store stuff in them. And I'm assuming it's about 2,000 pounds total weight, plus the 6 people, plus the luggage in the van. The van did great, however, until you hit a bridge, and then it just seemed to beat you to death. But, you know, it is what it is. Got all the way down to the beach really, really well, and in the instant we got to the beach, the change of oil light came on the van. Now, luckily, I checked it. It looked okay. I did have to add a little bit, but we had no issues other than that. Coming back home, same thing, no problem. I did take the windshield out of it this time. That way we didn't have to worry about, you know, the windshield coming out and hurting someone or tearing up something or anything like that. And made it back really good. All round grand total, the van says we got 18 point some odd miles to the gallon. Not too bad for a van with 225,000 miles, pulling another 2,000 pounds on top of having a full load of people and luggage in the van. Would I do it again? Probably not. If I had to, I would. I would not push the van any further with more weight. I would say a larger lawnmower would probably be about the most weight you want to carry on one of those, and I wouldn't carry it as far as I did unless you just absolutely have to. So the van did pull it. The van did make it. It did it well, and fairly good mileage, considering I think it was like 18.4 miles per gallon. Not too bad. Van's, like I said, van's got 225,000 miles on it, and everything is all original. Just changed a few sensors. Everything else is all original. Plugs and sensors and fluids, and that's about it. So, all in all, yes, I'm very impressed with our 11-year-old van with over 200,000 miles. Did really well. I would choose not to do it again if I could. If I had the option, I would take the Expedition all day, any day. But it's kind of good knowing that it would actually make it 600 miles pulling a trailer. The 3.6 would probably do better, but the transmission is the same. Had no issues out of transmission, had no issues stopping, which was something I was worried about. The other issue I was worried about was the fact that I had no trailer lights behind me. If I had to do it again, and I will probably look into this, I will probably wire up some trailer lights just in case. You never know when you will need the van to pull something. So if you are looking to pull something that weighs about a grand total, including the trailer, 2,000 pounds, I did it with my 3.8 2010 Dodge Grand Caravan, so you should be able to do it as well, as long as you have no other issues. I had brand new tires and the brakes are not very old, so I wasn't really worried about that. I was more worried about going and stopping, and it pulled straight and true, and it was a good ride, albeit a very slow ride, all the way to and from Virginia Beach, 300 plus miles one way, a little over 600 miles grand total. So, hope you enjoyed. If you like this video, check this one out over here. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe over there. Let me know, what have you pulled with your Grand Caravan in the past? Hope it helps. Thank you much.